You ever get that feeling of just, it's gonna be a long week? That's how I'm feeling right about now. I'm certainly hoping I'm wrong. I hope that it goes by quick and painless and easy, but I just have this dread-filled suspicion that it is going to be, he couldn't have cut that any closer if he tried, a long week. We successfully made it to lunch. There hasn't been a lot of content recording because I've been training Newbie, and I'm not just going to throw Newbie on camera like her first shift with me. Like, that just feels a little excessive. But the day's going like relatively quickly. We worked the order's done now, and there was so much kibble, an ungodly amount of kibble, and I sweat through my shirt already, so I'm on my backup for the day. But happy St. Patrick's Day. I felt like a kid on the first day of school. I had an outfit all laid out, but Hugo was tweaking this morning, and so I rushed to get ready, and then on my way to work, I realized that I left the whole fit at home. So if you watch stream, which will technically be before this video comes out, I'll be wearing my fit that I was going to wear. It's nothing too crazy special. However, I'm a little bit annoyed that I forgot, because I was in a rush to make sure Hugo didn't crap all over himself. Newsflash, he still did. We're roughly halfway done with my front shift, an hour and a half in. I mean, I've been done for an hour and a half. Screaming children, top 3 worst things ever. Not having to wait for apologies. Danging down to work day. Chat, I don't think I stopped sweating for the entire duration of the day. It was brutal. I'm covered in like a thin layer that feels like it's a foot thick. I just feel gross, and I don't know why. Maybe I was like starting to get sick with something. I just sweated it out. I don't know. Anyway, work is done. Finally on the way home. A little rain. That's why I can cringe. But I would say relatively decent day today. It started off really quick, and then the last 3 hours at the register really kind of grinded the day to a halt. Which, hey, you know, this thing's happened. So, you know, I guess, you know, it's just one of those things. But, oh well, such is life. I am very much ready to go home, though. It has been a long couple hours. I think I'm trying to get a read on both the newbies. They're both really smart, which is cool. And they both really want to learn, which is cool. But it's just kind of hard to get a read on them, you know, as to whether or not they're rocking with the vibes. See if they're chill, you know. But at the same time, I feel like my frontal lobe is developing, because I've also come to the conclusion, or I guess the realization, that like, as a member of management, I just by default will not be likable and will not be like one of the homies, which I get, you know, they want to stay away from management and everything. I understand. It hurts the feelings, but I understand. But it's definitely something I've picked up on in the last handful of hires, is like, they are very like weary of me as an individual. And whenever it's like, hey, how are you doing today? Good, great, yeah, best day ever. Like, every time. Which, it is what it is. I remember doing that to the managers that I had, so it's kind of an adjustment period. You would think after a couple years I would have adjusted. I haven't. We're still learning as we go, but hey, it's all part of the process. St. Patrick's Day, 2026 in the books. Really nothing too noteworthy or fun or lucky or anything of the sort. I just, you know, kind of had a day. I'm probably gonna go home to have a nice cold Guinness. I only drink Guinness one time a year, and stream. Oh, I have leftover chicken. I'll probably have some of that too. But that's gonna do it for today. It is weirdly warm today. Also, in case you haven't caught on, we're doing a 2-for-1. I was streaming last night. In case you guys don't watch streams, I'll say it again. I strongly recommend it. But I was streaming last night, and I've been playing, well, not really playing. I put it off for a while, but I've been playing the new Resident Evil Requiem. There's minor spoilers. Well, I guess maybe major spoilers, but it's not like plot related. They say it's early game, which is weird because I'm hours and hours in, but I also play slow. I digress. Spoilers. Maybe I'll have like a little thing in the corner here. So if you want to like double click until you're at the end of this being gone, then spoilers will be over. Anyway, there's a giant spider, and I hate spiders. Like, it's weird. I have weird arachnophobia. Like, if there's a spider IRL, I'm not like full-blown tweaking, but like it needs to go. Games though, I'm like tweaking. It's like, it's not, I'm cooked when it comes to spiders in games. Skyrim, Avowed, Hogwarts Legacy, now Resident Evil Requiem, just to name a few. So there's a giant spider boss fight. A couple weeks ago, I walk into the boss arena, see that that's what I'm going to be dealing with. Ended the game, ended stream. Well, actually, maybe I wouldn't played Ark, but ended the game, and I haven't touched it for a while, trying to like build up the strength. St. Patrick's Day was last night. I had a couple drinks. I was feeling myself a bit, gooped, got crapped on. Decided, hey, let's switch it up. Fight the giant spider. Did that, and then the world just opens up. Everything's fun to play again, and that took me forever. I wanted to accomplish one thing after beating the giant spider, and that took me like 4 hours. So I didn't end stream until when I would normally finish editing. Therefore, we have what we have. Ladies and gentlemen, we have successfully made it to lunch. And let me tell you, it has been a ride. It has been a grind. We have both newbies in today. They're both doing very, very good. But it's also like a really slow day, so like teaching them things, but also like they're not children. Let me preface with that. They're not children. But you kind of have to hit them with the jingling keys because there is just like, it's slow today. And so I feel bad that we have both of them, because like there's barely enough for one of them to do, let alone two. So it's kind of just like, oh, look at this task, and it's like, oh, it's rough. Luckily, we have a bunch of like reading material and stuff that they can like not necessarily full self-teach themselves information, but have a lot more to like read and learn about some of the companies we carry and stuff. So luckily there's been that. So it hasn't been a total shit show. Chat, last night I came to a very scary realization. Maybe scary, I don't know. But my frontal lobe is developing. In 2020, I tried Guinness at a little bar up north. And I was like, this is brutal. Slammed it because I didn't want to like enjoy the beer. It was just not enjoying it. Was not going to waste my money though. That beer was getting slammed. Last night I had a Guinness for St. Patrick's Day. Chat, I'm in the Guinness. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so good until the very end. But like up until then, it was fantastic. I'm a Guinness guy now. My Irish heritage is taking over. I don't know if it's visible on the camera, but on the naked eye it is. Oh, that one. There you go. It is officially pollen season. I'm very scared because I developed allergies in 2020. I know, 21 years into life and I finally get allergies. That's whack and cringe. But there's a possibility that now I could be good. I'm so beyond ready to go home. I don't think words can describe just how ready to go home I am. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. But I gotta go stream. It's just, but I'm so ready to go home. So ready. Another victory for the OJs. Taking down the Wog Day. You hear all the frogs? It reminds me of living back out at the farm. I don't know if like the OG stream days, if anybody remembers that. Because, so what I used to do, for camera lock in please. What I used to do is my room at the farm was very clearly an add-on after the fact. It wasn't very well insulated. The air conditioning was crazy. I couldn't actually have a vent. It was bad in hindsight, but like the vent didn't have like a vent cover. You know, like the grate that you can adjust how much air is flowing or whatever. Couldn't have one of those because the AC blew so hard that it blew the vent off the wall. Like ripped the drywall out. It was crazy. And so the AC was fantastic though, because of the way it was lined up. It was like perfectly, when I was sitting at my desk, it was blowing perfectly on me. And then when I was in bed, it was blowing perfectly on me, and that was great. I'm getting sidetracked here. There's no cars even coming. Why am I stopped? But like I was saying, it wasn't very well ventilated. I talk about how nice the AC was and it was working. It was never on because downstairs it was nice and cool, and that's where the thermostat was. So my grandpa refused to have the air conditioning turned on because it was nice and cool downstairs. Why would we have it on? Well, Grandpa, it's 80 degrees upstairs. I digress. So with that in mind, I used to always have my window open just for some better ventilation, because I mean, it's musty up there. But also, like, it's so hot that any amount of airflow I'm gonna need. So I always had my fan going, and I always had my window open. And especially around this time of year, getting into like early summer, we had a little pond outside where a singular frog lived, and all stream, and he would ribbit loud enough where it would pick up on the microphone. And he was just a little buddy of ours for the first few years of streaming. And it was just, you know, a really cool moment. You know, I have that stupid little frog in the background just going crazy. And then whenever I hear the chorus of frogs, it reminds me of taking the trash out, where I think there was some sort of lake or something real near the house there, where there just was thousands of them. Anyway, today was kind of a weird day. We got some scheduling issues but it's being solved. Newbies are doing great. I definitely still chipping away at the shield to hopefully get them to open up a little bit. We had some discussion, well, what do you do when you're not working discussions today, which was fun and cool. But we're done. I get to go home. I'm gonna have some dinner, mayhaps a Guinness, and then stream. I don't know what we're streaming. I think I might play Dark Souls again with Mikey, but since the spider's gone at Requiem, I could grind that some more. That mosquito's gonna be the death of me.